Hey there, cats and kittens. It's Mr. MegaManFan with day whatever of the current pandemic, but it's a good day for me because I've got a couple of packages in the mail. That's the only way any of us are retro hunting these days. So let's start with this one that's marked eBay on the side. You might remember in a previous retro hunting video, I mentioned that there was a mystery item that I was going to be receiving because the seller had sent me the wrong item. Well, the person they sent it to actually forwarded it along to me, so I ended up getting two items, the item I didn't order and the item I did. First, let me show you the one I did, and then I will film the other one in a little bit. But we have here Space Invaders for Super Nintendo, complete in the box. And because the seller was incredibly forgiving and generous about this whole snafu, I ended up getting this for free because they felt bad about me having to wait to receive the item that I had already paid for. Sorry if we lost focus there for a second. Nice looking Space Invaders cartridge and instruction manual, a little bit bent in one corner, but certainly not to a totally intolerable degree, especially given that this was free after all. So I think I can bend that back into shape with a little bit of force. Trying to anyway. Yeah, that looks all right. A manual, a cartridge, a box. A complete in-box Space Invaders. This foam insert's kind of interesting though. I wonder if that's something they did other than a tray for late releases. What's the copyright date on this? 1997. Maybe they did that instead of the cardboard trays by this late point in the Super Nintendo life cycle. Or maybe that was something the owner put in there to help keep the box in shape, because you can tell it's starting to warp in a couple of places. But my biggest priority here was the fact that it was a relatively low-cost, complete in-box Super Nintendo game, so I'm not too overly concerned with the fact that there's a foam insert or that the box has a couple of crinkles. I mean, honestly, it's still a really good condition box for being over 20 years old. I think I did pretty well on this one. More than one layer to break through here, so ta-da! It is the EverDrive X7 from Krikkz. I've been looking forward to this. As you can hear, you can squeeze it, which means you can access the menu and save states and reset just by squeezing the back of your Game Boy. And where's micro SD loads up at the top there. Very nice construction. Stone Age Gamer and Krikkz. They do fantastic work, so I will be demonstrating this in a little bit, and I will also show you the other mystery item that I got. Put them in the Iron Maiden. Excellent. Execute them. Bogus. So that was the mystery item that the seller sent me that I wasn't supposed to get, and they said, go ahead and keep it. I can send the original buyer another one because I've got more than one. So I ended up getting two items for nothing. So you can bet that this seller is going to get some really positive feedback when I'm all done with everything here. I will not turn down an Icarus Eddie from Iron Maiden, because I like Iron Maiden. Good band. So let's open this up. Come on out, Icarus version of Eddie, with your wings ready to fly, but don't get too close to the sun, or you may die. Icarus Eddie. And it appears he comes with a weapon. How about that? Eddie is ready. Eddie is armed and ready for combat. Look out, Eddie's got wings and a semi-automatic, fully loaded weapon. Take down all the haters of metal. I have a feeling Thrash X Burn, aka Michelle Mayhem, will definitely appreciate this Iron Maiden figure. But let me get on to the EverDrive X7 and show you all a little more about that. Eddie approves. Alright, as you can see here, I've got the X7 loaded into my original Game Boy Color from the 1990s, and the micro SD card is formatted. I will link in the description of this video to a very good tutorial on how to set up your micro SD card. It's not too complicated. You just need to make sure it's FAT32 formatted and that you have the latest operating software from Krikkz, which is free at his website. And once you do, you get 8 games with the purchase of your EverDrive through Stone Age Gamer, and I have those 8 games already loaded onto the micro SD card. It's as simple as selecting the game you want to play, it loads, and almost instantaneously you have game. This works on original Game Boys, Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Lights, any variety of Game Boy compatible system, including the Super Game Boy and the Super Game Boy 2. Obviously you can't play Game Boy Advance games, but all Game Boy and Game Boy Color games will work. And as I mentioned in the first part, you can actually squeeze this to access the menu. And when you do that, you get 3 options: save state, load state, or back to menu. And since I already tested this out before filming, I will select load state, and you can see that it saved my game in progress. So this is quite a remarkable device. Now, I did get a reply from Jeremy Parish on his channel in the review of Trip World about Cosmo Tank not being compatible with the EverDrive, so as a bonus here, I'm going to see if that holds true for the X7, since that's the latest version of software and hardware that's available on the market. I don't know if he had an X3 or an X5, but maybe that compatibility has been addressed, so I'll be right back with Cosmo Tank to see if that works or not. And we're back. I've loaded both Cosmo Tank and Trip World, the video I commented on, into a folder called ROMs. So here we go, Mr. Parish. Does Cosmo Tank work on the X7? Why, yes. Yes, it does. I know you said it was not compatible with previous EverDrives, but it appears that the X7 has resolved that. Yeah, I can play this. I can't play it very well one-handed, but I can in fact play it. Cosmo Tank is working, so let's try the other game I loaded. Let's create a save state here. Let's go back to the menu. And let's try Trip World. Seems to me there's nothing the X7 can't handle, so I would call that an unqualified success. So that's my video on today's pickups. The Super Nintendo version of Space Invaders which ironically enough is hidden inside a Game Boy game, and the EverDrive X7. I'll put a link in the video to all the information you need to know about setting up the EverDrive X7 if you get one yourself. But as always, thanks for watching.